If you can understand a number line, then you can solve an absolute value equation. Here's a number line with the coordinates marked off. An absolute value equation is asking you about distance from 0. And there are two numbers that, for example, are 3 spaces from the number 0. You can go 3 spaces to the right, and you're at the number 3. Or you can go 3 spaces to the left, and you're at the number -3. There are two numbers that are 3 spaces from 0. Then when you see an absolute value equation, this number is the number of spaces from 0, and your answer is always that number or the opposite of that number. 3 spaces +3 or -3. If the equation is asking about x plus 2, the bars are still asking you the same thing. How many spaces from 0 is x plus 2? That means that x plus 2 has to equal 3, or x plus 2 has to equal -3. Then all we have to do is finish the problem. Subtract 2 and get x equals 1, or subtract 2 over here and get x equals -5. First we have to figure out where x plus 2 is located, and then we can figure out what x we need to accomplish it. One of the biggest mistakes that students make is trying to solve an absolute value statement when it's in the middle of a bigger equation. First, you must isolate the bars. You can't decide what your absolute value is supposed to accomplish when it has all this extra material clouding your judgment. So the first thing we're going to do is isolate the absolute value bars by removing the numbers that are blocking us from seeing it clearly. So again, first we'll add 7 and get 2 absolute x minus 4 equals 10. Then divided by 2, and we end up with absolute x minus 4 equals 5. We treat the absolute value bar as if it was an unknown like an x, and we remove numbers from around it the same way we would if it was a plain x. Now that we see the absolute value bar information clearly, that we need absolute x minus 4 to equal 5, we can put x minus 4 at 5 or x minus 4 at -5, and then finish the problem the same way we finish every equation problem, by choosing x equals 9 or by choosing x equals -1. Never try to solve an absolute value equation when it's cluttered up. Always clear it up, and when you can see it clearly, then split it into the 2 halves. Of course, there are always trick questions where this number is a 0 and there aren't 2 places to be, or this number is a negative, which doesn't make any sense at all. Those are considered trick questions which you're not required to worry about for your final. If you're curious about them, please don't hesitate to ask.